Thanks to Ubisoft, I was able to play this game early. Appreciate it, Ubisoft. Wars Outlaws is the game of all time, and thanks to Ubisoft, I was able to play about 3 hours of the game and experience just a taste of what it has to offer. Now today is actually my birthday, but as a birthday gift to y'all, I will be sharing some footage of my gameplay and sharing my overall experience with the game. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now off the rip, coming from the announcement trailers and gameplay trailers to actually playing the game, you almost immediately feel GTA, Red Dead Redemption, obviously the Assassin's Creed games, and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora all bunched up into one Star Wars game, which I think is amazing. My favorite genre of game is third-person open world action adventures, and that's exactly what this is. We play as Kay Vess, a scoundrel who's just trying to survive in the galactic underworld. She's hoping to start a new life and just start over, and will do pretty much anything to make that happen. Now I already kind of like the character from the first trailers that I've seen, but actually playing as her and hearing her and learning more about her, she does seem very cool.
Name's Kay Vess. Ready to play?
Now where my time with the game first starts, we see Kay waking up on her ship. Right when she goes to step out to get a breath of fresh air, she gets ambushed by this mechanic. Now this mechanic will go on to be a character we have multiple conversations with. That will lead me into my next section, just talking about the characters in general, because there's a lot of them. The time I had with the game, I saw that there were many characters that you could talk to, a lot of NPCs, throwing random dialogue, but you can also get side missions, main missions, very similar to many open world games. One thing that I really love about Outlaws is that we have a reputation system. So with all these different characters and these main characters that we need to talk to, the game will give us an option to choose during certain times or missions, and whatever choice we make could affect our reputation with the different factions in the game. We could betray people, we could help the bad people, we could help the people that we think are good and move up the rankings in one faction but go lower in the other faction. Then we also have characters like Nyx and ND5. These two characters are shown heavily in the trailers. They're shown to be companions of our main character, Kay Vess. Now Lil Nyx is fire. He's with us 24/7 and he can help us with different gameplay mechanics, distractions, attacking people, jumping on their backs, and can really come in handy when you're in a sticky situation. Now I still don't know much about ND5, so I can't wait till we play the full game to learn more, but he seems very cool. Now unlike other games where you have to just, level up and buy skills through different skill trees and stuff like that, this game uses its characters to give you skills. There are certain experts in the world that you have to go and find, and when you do find them and complete some of their missions or challenges, you can learn some of their skills. I actually feel like that's a very different and interesting way to go about leveling up and earning skills in the game. It adds a little bit more to the overall story and experience, and that's something I'm a big fan of. If y'all know me, y'all know I love story stuff. Now speaking of more story stuff, this game does seem like it's gonna be pretty long. There seems like it's a lot to do, but to me that's a beautiful thing, so I can't wait to fully explore the planets and meet new people and see what they have to offer. But now let's talk about the gameplay. My experience with the gameplay of this game was both satisfying and challenging, which I think is a must for any game. You don't want things to be extremely hard, but you also don't want things to be too easy. I actually failed and died on missions many times during my session, but maybe I'm just trash. But the gunplay in the game is something that I also enjoy. Kay uses her main pistol that has multiple settings, one being the regular blaster and the other can get rid of enemy shields. There's also a stun option that can one-shot your opponent. While this option has a cooldown, it definitely comes in handy when used properly. Ammo isn't a problem in this game either, which is a plus. Kay's gun needs to be recharged instead of reloaded. It's very similar to the Gears of War games where you have a small meter that you must press at the right time so you can get that automatic reload, or in this game's case, an automatic recharge. And if that isn't good enough, we do have other weapons we can use. While it doesn't seem like we can keep these weapons, we can pick up different enemy weapons like a rifle and use it in battle. I can't wait to see what other weapons this game has to offer when the full game drops. And as mentioned earlier, this game shares a bit in common with the hit game Red Dead Redemption, where Kay can enter a bullet time mode and select up to 3 enemies and blast them all. So while we had gunplay very similar to this with previous games, it doesn't change the fact that it's very satisfying and just fun overall. But maybe you like to get up close and personal. If so, Kay can do just that. With a skeleton made out of adamantium, she can knock out anything. There's also grenades in this game as well, so that's fire. So to sum it up, the gunplay is very reminiscent to other games, but it still holds its own freshness since it's in this Star Wars universe. You know what I'm saying? It's more blasters instead of, guns with regular bullets. The sound design of the blaster heat. And again, it can get kind of challenging. Those enemies will gang up on you. But now let's talk about traversal and exploration. Like I said before, third-person open world games are my favorite genre, with the Assassin's Creed franchise still holding the #1 spot for my favorite video game series. And this game is right up my alley. For starters, this game is gorgeous. Massive Entertainment just knows how to do open world, man. The scenery is amazing. Imagine Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, but in third person. Kay can get around on her speedster or on her ship. And I can already tell you, whether I'm on the ship or I'm on my speedster, if I'm not recording, man, I can see myself just driving around, man, just exploring the world, because it's so open, it's so big, very vast, and the game will include 5 planets for the player to explore. Now, I only got to experience 2, and forgive me if I get these names wrong, but the planets are Toshara Moon, Akiva, Kajimi, Kantanika, and Tatooine. Tatooine. I'm new to Star Wars, bro, but now one of the planets I got to explore was Kajimi, and if y'all know me, y'all know I love snow maps, so this was very cool to be in and explore, and I actually think I only got a piece of it, so I can't wait to see what else that planet has to offer. But during my session, I spent most of my time in Toshara, traveling with my speedster, going through water, on mountains, smooth day and night cycle, the whole 9 yards. When they said this was the first true open world Star Wars game, they meant it. There's also combat for both the speedster and the ship, so things gonna get intense. But speaking of the ship, that's something that I definitely got to get used to. When I first had the chance to fly the ship, it was kind of difficult on getting a grasp of the movement in the camera, all while trying to aim at other ships and shoot them down. But over time, I got used to it, learned how to do speed boosts, different maneuvers, slow myself down, and with more practice, I could probably pull off some crazy moves. Like, this isn't just the ultimate open world Star Wars games. This is like the ultimate open world space game, just, you know, with the different planets alone and the spaceship combat. It's a beautiful thing. I also love how we actually can go into a planet. There's no loading screen, there's no big wait to get to another planet. We get in our ship, we fly, we go to a planet, we enter that atmosphere, and we're there. It's amazing how they transition everything to make it flow so seamless. But if you're in a building or doing a stealth mission, the game does offer some pretty cool on-foot traversal. Simple traversal, but cool. Kay can swing on ropes, climb various ladders or walls, etc. This is where I got a lot of similarities to the Star Wars Jedi games. And when it comes to the feeling of the swinging and the running or maybe sliding, I can say that sometimes it feels a bit slow, but during my entire session with the game, it was a lot I felt I needed to get used to, even though the mechanics were very similar to previous games I played. But speaking of more on-foot activities, like many other Ubisoft titles, this game offers a stealth approach. And honestly, this was one of the more challenging things for me. I've never been a huge fan of stealth unless it was Assassin's Creed, so that's how I tried to go into it. But unfortunately for me, it takes a little bit more than that. You really have to utilize nicks in those stealthy situations to help distract other enemies. There are cameras in the game that if they spot you, you can fail the mission. I was taking L's left and right, but in the end, I prevailed. Now, the other challenging aspect to this game, at least for me anyway, were the puzzles in the game, and mainly one type of puzzle. Other puzzles in the game are very simple, like the rhythm-based puzzle you need to do in order to unlock doors. I actually really liked that mechanic and was kind of looking forward to the next locked door so I could do it again. But the puzzles that tricked me up were the hacking puzzles. Throughout my time with the game, there were various computers or devices that needed to be hacked. Now, maybe it's because I never played Wordle, but I was struggling on these. And I mentioned Wordle because that's pretty much what the puzzle is. There are a number of glyphs that the player has to guess the position of. After one round of guesses, they'll get information about whether that glyph is present and in the right spot or not. So this is an enjoyable, simplified allusion to Wordle that players will easily recognize if they're familiar with the word game. I wasn't familiar with the word game, but looking back at it now, it seems simple enough to get, so we'll see how I do when the full game releases. But when it comes to the overall exploration in the open world of this game, it's perfect for me, mainly because it's so similar to some of my favorite games while also adding its own uniqueness with being in the Star Wars universe. I think that's something that makes the game stand out in a way, since it isn't the usual lightsaber wielding Star Wars game, but a more relatable, down-to-earth Star Wars game with the character more aligned to Han Solo rather than Luke Skywalker. And again, I'm new to Star Wars, so please don't jump me in the comments, but I just can't wait to experience the full game and see what else this world has to offer, because it seems like it has a lot. There was so much that I didn't even get to see during my session, like the wanted system that's been said to be very similar to GTA 5's, or more of the RPG elements like upgrading Kay's gear and customizing my outfits, as well as my speeder and my ship. This game also has a photo mode, so I can't wait to try that out. And either I didn't know or I just forgot, but there is an in-universe game called Kessel Sabak that took me by surprise and immediately took me back to playing blackjack on Red Dead. I usually don't play too many of those those type of games in a game, but this one was pretty cool and I can see myself doing it if I'm not recording. But this game is truly a fun time. So in the end, if you enjoy any of the games you see on screen and are at least interested in the Star Wars universe, then this game is for you. I've been a big fan of Ubisoft since I was a kid, and I can confidently say they got another banger on their hands. But I'm gonna end this up right here, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this game down in the comments, and until the full game's released, just a month away on August 30th, I hope y'all enjoy. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell so you know when I'm posting, man. Share the content, share the channel, do all of that. I'll see y'all in the next one. It's your boy Kay Vess. Peace.